best pro wrestling podcast.
Yup. Double yup. Triple yup.
Nia Jax is the greatest female competitor to ever step in the ring.
She's not like most girls.
How you doing?
I am smitten.
We are all smitten. This is the best pro wrestling podcast.
What? No, yes.
My name is Tommy Stryker, and I'm the host of the show. Joining me, as always, is Taco.
What up?
And the consumer of terrestrial, what is it? The
consumer of terrestrial entities.
Yeah, I'm not going to remember that.
That's Joe, the consumer of terrestrial entities, his new moniker.
The consumer of terrestrial entities.
I did dress up for him as Halloween, so that makes sense.
Say the consumer of testicular fortitude.
What does that mean?
So yeah, this is the best pro wrestling podcast. If you are new to this show, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of
Keep on sucking.
It's a lot of that. But yeah, we try to keep it positive. We like to talk about what we like about wrestling, and there's a lot to talk about this week, of course.
What a week it's been. So much to talk about.
We got to talk Raw, Smackdown, NXT. I want to talk a little bit of Ring of Honor and New Japan this week. We haven't talked a ton of that on this show. I've been saving it for the other podcast for Strong.
So much.
Yeah, for Strong Honor. This week on Strong Honor, I had a special guest come on, a friend of mine named Wayne Miller Jr. Just another wrestling fan, but we had a good conversation talking the year of New Japan and World Tag League and everything else. So good conversation. So check that out over on Strong Honor, the other podcast. So yeah, I want to talk a little bit of everything. We're literally going to talk the best today here on the show. So looking forward to all of that. Let's get right into the news of the week.
Pro wrestling news.
We have quite a bit of news for you.
Got several items here to get to, so we'll kind of run through these rather quickly. But Impact has named Scott D'Amore and Don Callis the executive vice presidents of that company. So, of course, Don Callis, the current color commentator for the English language commentary in New Japan. So it'll be interesting to see how that all takes place or whatever, if one ends up affecting the other or not at all. Who knows?
It's interesting.
Yeah. Well, the word is internet rumors, of course, is that they are going to keep going at that, trying to work in that relationship with Ring of Honor and New Japan. So that's a start.
Impact is?
Impact, because they did approach him a couple of weeks ago. So
interesting.
And Impact's really trying now, so, best of luck to them, but we're not going to see no fucking Kenny Omega or Naito on Impact tomorrow. No, but, hey, good luck to them.
At least they're trying something. They're taking people that have a different kind of experience. They're not going back to the same old things that haven't worked in the past.
Right.
I mean, obviously, recently they've gone back to Jeff Jarrett, going back to who's the fucking guy I'm thinking? Vince Russo. That got him kicked off of Spike TV, and stuff like that. So at least they're not going back to things that didn't work, and they're trying some new things. So we'll see what happens as far as Impact goes. 205 Live is going to go live with some house shows in January, trying to take it on the road. It'll be interesting to see how well it draws. I know there's been a lot more attention on it lately with the Enzo Amore edition, with him being champion. Hasn't really piqued my interest that much, but there's people that are into it. So so it'll be interesting. I'm skeptical. I'll say that much. I don't see them doing an all 205 Live house show. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm for it. It's keep these guys on the road. Keep them active, keep them in everyone's face. It's
Yeah.
I like the whole idea of it, and it's the WWE logo is gonna be slapped onto it, but don't expect a giant WWE production. A house show barely feels like a giant production.
Right.
So
yeah. It'll probably be more
really
like the NXT house shows.
I want that intimacy. I want that. It's like seeing your favorite, or seeing some, higher end comedians in like a small intimate club. That's awesome. You don't get that with a lot of these WWE superstars,
and it's kind of like
alone NXT.
Kind of like going to your higher end indie show, like what we're planning on going to on Thursday this week. This show is dropping on Thursday, so most of you listening on Thursday, Taco and I Joe, are you planning on going to this first wrestling show?
No.
Or not? But it's at a VFW. First Wrestling usually runs bigger, like First Avenue. They've been there, and the Caboose.
WrestlePalooza.
Right, WrestlePalooza. Yep. That's kind of the big thing that they're known for. But the name of the promotion, First Wrestling, they're running a smaller venue, a VFW, but they're really bringing in some cool names for this. Jimmy Jacobs is going to be there.
Yep.
Abyss,
Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah, so bringing in some cool names. So it'll be fun to see them in an intimate setting, and I think that's what you were saying. That's kind of what 205 Live is going for, taking some big stars from TV and being able to see them in a more intimate setting. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Wrestling's all about, though, is like how many fucking fatal four ways do we gotta have to with these guys in almost the same fucking fashion? So. Yeah, get them on the road, ship them out. Let's, show them off. These guys, they're fun. Fuck.
Yeah. Okay, Chris Jericho is going to be out for WrestleMania for sure because Fozzy is playing a date on the same day.
You know how that works for us.
It's not like he has, a bunch of fucking money. We can just take a private jet, come right over. Because I don't know if you know it's about Fozzy, but they're all ages. They do all ages shows.
Oh, so that you're saying early in the day.
So I think they can play early enough to get out of the show, and he can right over.
Zip on over.
Here's the thing: and sure you can speculate about all of that, but and I talked about this on Strong Honor too. So if I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry, but who cares?
You should be.
But it's my opinion is that Jericho is going to be away from WWE for a while.
Oh yeah,
doing this Wrestle Kingdom thing. Personally, I don't think he's going to make it a one-off with New Japan.
No.
And you add in the Ring of Honor effect. Jericho originally wanted to book NXT on that big cruise next October. He ran into the brick wall at WWE. So I think Chris Jericho is a little upset with the higher-ups at WWE. Just recently on his podcast, he had Jimmy Jacobs on there. We just talked about him coming to town. Yep. But Chris Jericho talked about how much he loved working with Jimmy Jacobs in a writing capacity, working on promos and stuff like that. Jimmy Jacobs came up with the list. Yep. And so that's all on Jericho's podcast this week. There's a really good listen there. But I think Jericho is kind of like, not fuck WWE, but fuck WWE.
I don't think he's needed this year at all either. Like, I'm just saying they are an all ages band at most times, so it is possible. But realistically, no, it's not needed. He's not needed. He shouldn't be at WrestleMania. There's plenty of other people that they need to get on a WrestleMania.
And I personally think he's kind of taken the Cody Rhodes challenge and saying, "Hey, let's go. Let's take it to this indie stuff and see what kind of buzz we can generate."
See, I think it's not about him. It's about them still. Like, he wants to get that attention on them.
Well, and also when you say no to Jericho, he always just finds a way to do it anyway.
Exactly.
That's just what he does.
And we've got all this talk about the Young Bucks and Cody trying to book a 10,000-seat arena. You add a name like Jericho on top of a guy like Kenny Omega, on top of maybe some other New Japan stars, on top of perhaps a Brian Danielson. Yeah. Suddenly that 10,000-seat arena is filling up. So
pretty damn fast.
So like I said, I don't think Jericho is returning to WWE anytime soon, really. So I think he's interested by this indie challenge and this indie scene that's going on right now. And with him being a rock and roll guy, kind of that independent spirit is that's alive inside Jericho. So speaking of New Japan, AXS TV announced that it will be airing. This is big news, actually. If you're kind of interested in New Japan but not ready to make the leap and sign up for a Japanese website and things like that, AXS TV announced that the Saturday after Wrestle Kingdom, so Wrestle Kingdom's on the 4th of January, which is a Thursday, so the following Saturday, the 6th, they're going to be airing a 3-hour special with basically all the big main events from Wrestle Kingdom, the Chris Jericho match, the Naito and Okada match, probably Tanahashi and Switchblade Jay White. Yeah. So all the big matches from Wrestle Kingdom will be airing on American TV for free if you have AXS TV.
Sling TV.
And and that's what I was going to bring up, because all day that Saturday they're going to be running a marathon showing basically the best matches from New Japan
that again.
over the last year. So if you're someone that's been hearing all the buzz about New Japan but you haven't quite seen a ton of it yet, go ahead and get yourself if you don't have AXS TV already, go ahead and sign up for a free week of Sling TV. You get AXS TV on there. You spend a whole day watching New Japan. You get to watch Wrestle Kingdom 12 basically for free, at least the big matches. So you'll get to see Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega, and that can be your Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega can be your gateway drug into what is New Japan Pro Wrestling. Once you see Okada and Naito, once you see Tanahashi and Switchblade, hopefully you get to see a little strong style, something from like a guy like Ishii. Hopefully will be on there. But some cool stuff to look forward to. And some people are kind of sour on it, thinking, well, I pay for New Japan World and they should be using this to bump up subscriptions to New Japan World. And why are they giving it away for free on TV 2 days later?
They
why
are trying to bump subscriptions.
That's
the point.
Exactly. So I think giving some of it away for free will be enticing. Be like, oh, I need to see more of this. I want to see it live or as soon as it comes out.
It's hot right now. Just give them a taste. Just a little bump, man. Just need a little bit. You got any more of that New Japan?
Continuing with the news, Jim Johnston, longtime music producer for WWE, was released. Or maybe released isn't the right term. I think they let his contract expire.
Yeah.
So this had kind of been a long time coming from what I've heard.
You thought it happened, what? A couple months ago, maybe a year ago now.
There was a rumor out that it happened like a couple of months ago, that it had already happened. That was not the case. But with the CFOs doing a lot more of the more popular songs recently, the writing was kind of on the wall.
Yeah.
So the end of an era. He had he was behind some of the most popular WWE themes, and one of the fun things that a lot of websites are doing these days are compiling top 10 lists of Jim Johnston themes. He wasn't my favorite, but I completely understand where people are coming from, kind of missing the Jim Johnston.
Sentimental stuff.
Sure,
it's okay.
sure.
I care very little myself.
Yeah, whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah, he did really good with Glorious, but,
Well, that was CFO.
I know.
Anyway, one more news item before we get into the meat and potatoes here. Ronda Rousey has been training to be a professional wrestler. There's video out there now that she's been doing some training, and so everybody's talking about the negotiations and her WWE contract. And of course, the rumors are it's going to be the 4 horsewomen of WWE versus the 4 horsewomen of MMA taking on each other at WrestleMania. Of course, we had Shayna Baszler in the Mae Young Classic earlier this year, and so and I think isn't one of those women Johnny Gargano's wife? No, I'm thinking not Roderick Strong's wife.
Strong, yeah.
Johnny Gargano's wife is Candice LeRae,
LeRae.
right? But yeah, Roderick Strong's wife, whose name I can't remember right now. But yeah, there's a contingency there, and so officially we've seen that Ronda Rousey is training. So I fully expect to see some developments over the next few months. But it's very intriguing and very exciting.
Yeah.
I don't find it that exciting.
Really, you're not that into it?
I mean, it's not that she's not going to be good. I'm just not that interested in Ronda Rousey because what happened when she failed in her MMA career? She quit. What's going to happen if she fails and some people don't like her in wrestling? She'll quit.
Her heart's more into the wrestling world, though. She just had that fight world kind of dropped onto her, and
it doesn't stop you from being a quitter.
Yeah, but it just kind of boomed from into this superstardom where she's all of a sudden in fucking movies, all over the TV shows. Here's this endorsement, here's that endorsement. It's gonna get to your head a little bit. She'll do fine in wrestling.
Plus, not to mention, Joe, pro wrestling is a worked sport. It's not real. So when she loses, it's agreed upon. It's not something that she worked really hard for and then lost a hard-fought battle. It's fake. So
predetermined.
They can control the narrative. You see, and so, so anyway,
especially doing it with like the 4 horsewomen thing too. It's a good way of putting Ronda Rousey out there, but not putting her solely in in the spotlight.
Sure.
So she can still go out there and develop.
And I do understand kind of what you're getting at, too, with some skepticism because...
Well, it's not skepticism. Honestly, I'm just on Ronda Rousey. She's impressive in the ring, like I should say, in the octagon and stuff like that.
How does that translate?
It just doesn't translate for me. I don't like, she doesn't have the wrestler promo in my mind. Like, I've seen some of her UFC stuff. Like, I feel she's got to work on that. Not saying she can't get better, and I'm not saying she's going to be horrible. I'm just not that excited about her actual transition.
In fights, though, were like her excitement of why she is, though.
Yeah, but they were just boring.
It's kind of like Brock Lesnar's promos, though. He just let loose.
That's why he has a person talking for him.
Absolutely.
But I think there's something to be said also of it takes a long time to become usually a good pro wrestler, and so she can do some training and whatever, and
she's definitely got the leg up.
And granted, there are people that are naturals, like a Kurt Angle who picked it up really quickly. Brock Lesnar picked it up relatively quickly. But I mean, we have to. It's a wait and see kind of thing.
But it still wasn't a year and they're good to go. It was still, 2 years into it by the time they saw any main action.
Right. So
which is what I hope they do with her.
And the thing is, if it is a 4-on-4 situation, she can be well protected. She's not out there on her own. You've got 7 other women basically to take up some of the action. So none of those newer green women will have to be relied on too much to do a ton at once. So in that regard, I think it's interesting. So, and yeah, like you said, we can take our time with this and build her up over the next couple of years if that's something that she wants to pursue. But either way, it's going to make a lot of money.
Oh yeah,
it's going to be a draw. I think so. All right, let's change the subject. And before we get into Raw and SmackDown, this is the best pro wrestling podcast, and I want to talk about the best wrestling show of the week that we just saw, NXT. Yes, NXT this week.
You just couldn't wait to play that sound clip.
When I hear Taco going NXT, it really gets me. You know what it does? It really gets me excited. It's a giant erection. So, but no, a really fun NXT this week. NXT has been good, and they're promoting shows a week or two out that are going to be exciting to watch. Regal set up a couple of we're going to do 4 singles matches to set up a 4-way match for a number 1 contender for Andrade Cien Almas at NXT TakeOver Royal Rumble weekend. So that's what we're doing over the next few weeks. The first one was Trent Seven versus Killian Dane. Killian Dane wins with the Vader Bomb. Not much to talk about here, but it was a nice, hard-hitting, good match.
Just an ass whooping.
Yeah, all the matches on today's on NXT this week were good matches, and we did have the Andrade Cien. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I was just hoping for a little bit more out of Trent Seven. I know they want to build Killian Dane as a monster, but Trent Seven's not the tiniest of guys from that UK championship either. So
it's that dad bod.
Yep.
Yeah. When Trent Seven gets in the ring, it makes me think, hey, I could get in there. So there is that. But other good stuff from NXT. Andrade Cien almost had his championship celebration. Not much to talk about there. Spoke a lot of Spanish. The crowd gave him the what treatment a little bit, but I thought it was good. I liked him just speaking his native tongue there a little bit.
I was surprised at how much the what treatments were held back onto him, though. Normally a crowd, that's all you would hear is just, what?
Well, I think the NXT crowd is a little more 2017.
Yeah.
So the
Tranquilo.
The late 90s chants tend not to go over as well in Full Sail.
You definitely saw that he was definitely picking up on the English, so it's just, sharpening his tongue on that English language, and it was staying consistent, so it's good to see that in him, and Big fan.
One of the things that we talk about often on this show is how the backstage stuff is presented, on Raw and SmackDown versus what they've been doing on NXT. I really like what they've been doing on NXT with the backstage interviews. They've been doing these press conferences recently, and the Lars Sullivan one this week was particularly fun. Lars. So, yeah, they're asking Lars about what are you up to? Lars. Where are your pants, Lars?
Yeah, that was the biggest shocker. Him walking away, and it's like, whoa, I think I saw butt cheek.
Lars.
But Lars is going to be facing Roderick Strong in 2 weeks. He says Roderick Strong has a family. I have no family. Roderick Strong is kind of a poor man's Braun Strowman, but in a different good kind of way.
Right.
And I'm very much looking forward to seeing Lars Sullivan and Roderick Strong.
Lars.
So,
Gets old.
that's the incessant. Hey, get your attention.
Lars.
I love it. It's good stuff. The other one they did was an Ember Moon promo. It wasn't as prevalent the calling out of the name of the Ember Moon one, but but I did like the iconic duo sliding in from the side, stealing one of the guy's microphones, adding their own little interview there, and saying that Ember, you didn't pin Peyton Royce, and I've got some unfinished business with you. But then Billie Kay kind of threw her hat into the ring as well. Which one is it gonna be of the iconic duo? And Ember threw like kind of a really lame line back at them.
Iconic problem.
Yeah. And the way Peyton Royce just kind of stared off was like, that was so gross. Like the way
How dare you?
Watching Bill, for me it's Billie Kay. Watching her expression, because her face literally always is frozen in just no.
We had the Undisputed Era promo. It's going to be Adam Cole taking on Aleister Black next week in a qualifying match for that number one contendership deal that we talked about there. So that should be really interesting. And in 2 weeks, we're going to get Red Dragon, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish versus Sanity for the tag titles. So with the Undisputed Era.
God, do you give Black his loss here?
Shit. I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I feel like Adam Cole losing doesn't do a damn thing to him. Taking away Aleister Black's streak is a little bigger.
That's big. That's something like, God damn, that's like sudden.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't think they do it there. And if they do, there's going to be some bullshit involved.
Skullduggery.
With the other Undisputed Era guys. But I don't think they do that on NXT TV there. I think you save that for something way, way bigger, because they've built it up to this point. But I do like the Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish going against Sanity for the tag titles in 2 weeks. The show in 2 weeks, well, even next week with Adam Cole and Aleister is going to be big. But 2 weeks we got several good matches here. Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne in their third match of the year for the UK title. That's coming up in 2 weeks. Yeah. What was the other one? I feel like there was another one yet too here, but
shit.
Well, anyway, there's definitely those two big match. Oh, the Lars and Roderick Strong is in 2 weeks too. So there's the Lars one.
Lars.
I hope that's his new intro. And you just hear Lars.
Yeah, but then we'd miss out on that heavy rock music that he comes on.
You can put that right afterwards.
Right.
Lars.
So we got the big main event from this week was Cassius Ono versus Johnny Gargano. This was another one of these qualifiers for the four-way, and this was the battle of the losers, right? It was like, who's going to win this thing? Because Ono's been losing, Gargano's been losing, and this was really a great match. One of the greatest matches I've seen all week out of WWE. We'll get into Raw here shortly, but I mean, Raw put out some long matches and some competitive matches, but I thought this was the best thing that WWE had to offer of the week was this Gargano and Ono thing.
Well, and I like that they didn't play up the whole David Goliath thing very much because of the size difference. They brought it up a few times, but then they immediately start talking about how both of them are trained in, submission, specialists and everything like that. And then you see that. You see the chain wrestling between these two, just move to move to move, even with, the complete size difference, which is going to make for, transitions to be difficult.
And I liked the exchanges back and forth in the match. How Ono went for his big senton early, but Johnny got the knees up, but then he hits the senton later, kicks him in the face off the apron, goes for that big dive, but then Gargano turns it into that DDT on the grate. The great
that was great.
DDT. That was really great.
So great.
Some hot near falls and Mauro losing his mind on commentary.
Mauro's great.
And Fuego.
Yes, very, very, very good. And then Johnny Gargano getting the win with his, I think it's the Gargano escape, or maybe it's just the, is it the Clash of the Titus? I don't know what.
Clash of the Gargano.
Clash of the Titus!
So
Classic.
But then they show respect to each other after the match. Joe, you were cheering for the Pearl
just
Harbor.
Cassius Ohno just elbow right to the face and walk away.
Do we need to see a heel turn from Cassius Ohno to make him interesting?
No,
something,
Maybe he just needs to win.
he needs new theme music. I'm sorry, I'd hate it.
Oh no!
See, it's the outfit that bugs me. It just makes me not want to watch him wrestle. Like,
Then he shouldn't change it
he's
every
a fucking
time.
great wrestler, but I just don't like his ring gear.
What else?
Well, his face is kind of ugly.
What else?
Well, kind of greasy.
What else?
A little
Heard he
smelly.
smells, yeah.
What else?
Well, the King kind of sucks, Sacramento.
Yeah, they do.
What does that mean?
And I fucking hate Duke.
Okay.
Yeah.
Finally, Ruby Riott took on Sonya. took on Sonya. Sonya Deville in their no holds barred match. So
This match, anything goes.
it made me think, because they called this a no holds barred match. I was like, I want to see some barred holds. Show me some barred hold. A blatant chokehold, hands around the neck. That is a barred hold. We brought up the idea of a pile driver. That would be a banned move. I don't know if it's a barred. I mean, I don't think of a pile driver as a hold per se, because it's a move. It's a driver. So, but it is barred, I reckon. So maybe that would come into play. But no, they didn't do that. The finish was a submission move that would normally be broken up, because Ruby Riott was draped over the bottom rope, but the rope did not contribute to the submission. We kind of thought maybe if you use the ropes to lock in a more devastating submission, that would be a definition of a barred hold. But nevertheless, we did get some eye pokes in there. No crotch shots or anything like that, which is probably weird when it's two women anyway.
They would just giggle.
That is so profane, Dana.
There were some really good shots in this match, though. I feel like
Yes.
Sonya Deville had some really nasty knees.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Yeah, we have not been singing many praises for Sonya Deville up to until maybe a month ago, and so she has shown some really good improvement and shown that maybe she deserves this jump up to the main
Take off
roster.
those MMA gloves, though.
Yeah, those giant gloves.
I said since her debut, it just looks like she went in her dad's fucking gym bag and took his gloves. Like you look silly.
I already see a T-shirt coming. T-shirt coming because she retweeted, but the tapper nap that Mauro Ronaldo went off on. So there's going to be a Sonya Deville tapper nap shirt pretty soon.
That line popped me. Once in a while, Mauro really gets me, and I enjoy Mauro Ronaldo in that regard. So, all right, let's move on, Tuck, some Monday Night Raw.
The subject. Monday Night Raw.
So, yeah, we kind of alluded to it. We had some long matches on Monday Night Raw.
Great.
It was nice.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I'm not going to sit here and complain about long matches when I've been the guy over here complaining about the TV formula, how every match is the same, and they go to the break at the same spot, and they come back, and they're in a chin lock and a hope spot and a replay, and oh my God, he's coming back. And so I'm glad to. It's nice to see something different on Monday Night Raw. But that being said, and I'm going to be a little negative here.
God damn.
I'm sorry. I'm trying.
Jesus Christ.
And I like long matches, but long matches don't necessarily equal good matches. So, but that's all I'm going to say on it because I'm largely positive on long matches. So, but yeah, we had Jason Jordan versus Roman Reigns in the opening match for the Intercontinental title, which was kind of odd because it was like Samoa Joe was coming out at the beginning, and it looked like we were going to get Roman and Joe there, but Jason Jordan was there, poking his dad and suplexing Roman Reigns to get in the match. I did like generally how it went down at the beginning there. What did you think?
Yeah, it went down perfectly. You needed. You already know that the story of Joe and Reigns is there, and what better way to keep you salivating at the idea than keeping them separate at each other and staring at each other down. And it made Jason Jordan look really good too. Especially with. Well, let me rewind. It made Reigns looked good on the microphone too, like calling him like a little, just being a bit like you're a bitch. Like what the fuck, get out of here!
Yeah,
but
you don't deserve to be in my ring.
I liked the dynamic of both Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe. Like, who the fuck is this Jason Jordan dork?
Like, you should
know your role and get the fuck out of here.
Looking at this fucking belt, and I mean, like that reminder. Joe is all like, "What? He took you to the limit a couple of weeks ago, dude. Like, what are you talking about, Reigns?" But it also, I thought it did make Jordan look like he needs to be like it's keeping that dad storyline going. And I like that whole "come on, dad," and getting Kurt Angle thinking. But yeah, he looked really good in the match, and I like that Reigns was like, "Fucking, come for it if you need it. Quit being a rookie bitch. Come for that shit. You hungry or not?" So I totally like the suplex that Reigns got thrown on him, and just the good long match.
That part felt real because it was like, because Roman challenged him, step up, bitch.
Yeah.
He steps up, throws him, and that pissed off Roman's like, all right, motherfucker, we're going to have this match. And then Samoa Joe's like, all right, I'll just hang out and sit on the stage and watch.
I like that Reigns was still like, I'll take you later tonight still. Like, he was like, I'll do both of you tonight. Like,
and I kind of thought when they did later in the show, when who was looking for a match? It was Elias. Elias was looking for a match later in the show, and I thought, oh, this is where Angle will throw out Samoa Joe because he didn't have a match on the show.
No.
But of course, that would have been not a good idea because that would have elicited cheers from the crowd for Samoa Joe, who they want everybody to boo. But I liked Strowman in that role, so that was cool. There. Samoa Joe attacks Roman after the match, then Jordan saves Roman, and then Reigns Superman punches Jason Jordan for the trouble, and Samoa Joe attacks Jordan in Kurt Angle's office after all of that was over. So Samoa Joe
fucking suck it.
Yeah, and then Samoa Joe that means he, for all that back talk that Jason Jordan did in the opening segment, Samoa Joe got his little fucking sneak attack in.
Nowhere too, and I like the little subtle nod to Kurt Angle there too, and he's like father, like son, and then storms out. Like, yeah, I like that.
Let's jump around here because we don't want to bury the lead here at all. Yeah. we've got what a lot of us have kind of been waiting for since the Hardys came back to WWE. There was the whole legal issues. Finally, that's kind of over with Impact kind of reorganizing, rethinking what they're doing, what they want to do with their talent, which is a smart PR move on their part.
Stop wasting money.
They know if they need to survive, they need to fucking be smart.
Right. And
make everyone happy.
And there is the idea that if they actually take this to court, the Hardys have a pretty good chance of actually winning the case. So there's that as well. So but I like the idea of them not giving up, but letting their talent that's signed or whatever use their gimmicks or whatever that were homegrown at Impact elsewhere. Because
you gotta win the trust back.
Right. And right now Impact isn't the kind of place that can actually employ full-time wrestlers. They're letting all their big contract guys go.
Can you say they can't make a Impact?
What does that mean?
All right, that took too long. What? Okay, yeah. So Hardy, yeah. The fucking promo with
Bray.
with Bray. That was so interesting. This is the most interesting Bray has been in quite a while.
Yeah.
Because it appears that both Bray and Matt Hardy are now woken, and it wasn't. And Matt Hardy's not even Matt Hardy. This entity that was using Matt Hardy as a vessel, or however he said it.
I have laid dormant inside this vessel called Matthew Hardy. But now, thanks to the Consumer of Terrestrial Entities,
that's Joe.
I have been woken.
Thanks, Joe, for waking up.
Job,
Oh, no problem.
Was he referring to Bray Wyatt as the Consumer of Terrestrial Entities?
He's the eater of worlds.
Eater of worlds.
It took me that long to get it.
What does that mean?
Well, yeah.
What else?
Sometimes we figure these things out on the fly. The Consumer of
Terrestrial Entities.
So the Bray Wyatt has woken Matt Hardy. It's fun when we can figure these things out. I loved Hardy talking about he's not Hardy, but whoever this entity is he's part of the multiverse or whatever.
I am well versed in all facets of the multiverse. I have studied at the Library of Alexandria, battled alongside Genghis Khan, danced with Cleopatra, held symposiums with Plato, and meditated atop the Great Pyramid of Giza.
So I love that Matt Hardy is back doing this shtick again.
The coat is back on.
Yeah, the original coat. He's been all over Twitter acting crazy.
Well, word has it, Vince fucking loves it, and it sounds like Hardy's gonna have control.
This shit's right up Vince's alley.
Yeah,
let's face it.
This is wrestling, though. Like wrestling, you can do this far-fetched, crazy shit.
I can't wait for him to eat somebody.
That's why I love fucking wrestling. Is like you can have John Cena, who's Mr. fucking G.I. Joe, and then you look at fucking Kane, you got a demon from hell, and then you got Matt Hardy. What?
Is it Matt Hardy version 2.0?
Right? The promos between these two guys are going to be so fucking great, and I like that Matt Hardy even retweeted Bray Wyatt's tweet from a year ago when they were Smackdown Live champions, and he was like, I would love to face the family of the Wyatts or whatever, and he was like, total nonstop deletion. He's like, well, you know where to find us.
Nice.
So, yeah, awesome. Good digging up on that, Matt Hardy.
Yeah, good stuff.
My
Paige.
wife is going to hate that fucking feud so much. She hates Bray Wyatt with a passion because he makes no sense.
Well, there's that.
And then there's Matt Hardy.
Well, and now this is complete and utter nonsense now. So,
but at least it's on both sides, because when you have the serious, John Cena, Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt, just don't work. But you put it versus Matt Hardy, this makes a little more sense.
The Consumer
of Terrestrial Entities.
The Consumer of Terrestrial Entities has spoken. Yes, but this is going to be utter nonsense between these two. So it'll be kind of fun to see which one can out nonsense the other. As a matter
and that's got to be a game.
All right, Paige versus Sasha Banks. Paige's first big singles match, actual match at all since returning. The commentary for this was just atrocious because you had Clinton Dix out there, Clinton Dix, the champion, Bliss. Bliss was out there on commentary. You got Booker contradicting himself. You got Michael Cole and Corey Graves trying to correct Booker, and then you've got the heel champion who's contradicting herself because she's a heel, but then Michael Cole not calling her out on that. Corey Graves agreeing with the contradictions. So the fucking commentary was just all over. I hated it. I was like, this is so fake and shitty and awful. I couldn't stand it.
I hate to say that SmackDown's commentary team's the strongest point at right now.
Yeah.
Booker, I love Booker and his insanity, but God damn it. Even Corey Graves is great, but they got to stay consistent with what's going on.
Well, and Booker is the problem.
He is. Booker is the man.
He changes his stance from 1 minute of the match to the next, and so and from one match to another, he'll say one thing about somebody, and he'll love what Elias does 1 minute and then hate it the next. So Booker is all over the place, but I like some things that Booker does from time to time, but in this situation when you had the heel chicken shit champion out there doing her thing, trying to get her shit over, and then Booker just fucking being obnoxious and all over the place, it just threw me off. It was driving me nuts.
Yeah.
So, but the match, good match. Paige escapes a bank statement. The teammates brawl at ringside, causing the distraction, and that's what made Paige to get the rampage for the win.
Distraction. Too many distractions.
So good to see Paige getting the win there. Made some sense there with the distraction at ringside. Although I will say, again, we're talking about the distractions.
Distraction. Too many distractions.
Many distractions make your baby faces look like idiots. If you're in a hard-fought battle, why are you staring at the bright, shiny colors outside of the ring with the teammates fighting? So there is that.
Didn't one of them jump up on the apron and then someone else ain't coming? So it wasn't just like, who the fuck is that?
It was the four teammates that just got into a fight at ringside, and then Sasha Banks is like, "Oh, my teammates are knocked down. What's going on here?"
I could have sworn one of the
and then Paige comes in and kicks her in the face.
Paige's crew jumped up on the apron.
No, somebody ended up outside of the ring, and then the two other absolutions come over, and then Sasha goes back in the ring. Here comes the other two Sasha Banks friends. The friends of friends get in the fight outside the ring, and then Sasha Banks is like, "Oh no, my friends got knocked over," and then Paige kicks her in the face and hits the rampage to get the win.
Oh no, my friends!
That was the best Sasha Banks impersonation.
It's pretty much the worst Sasha Banks, but I like the idea that Sasha Banks all of a sudden Sasha Banks is kind of Southern. We don't really have many Southerners in the WWE, except for
that's
Sarah Logan.
Sarah Logan, dude.
She's supposed to be Southern, but she's not really. But
God, that was like
really bad. Yeah.
Oof. Just no.
Yeah.
Oof.
They need to just
all they have to do is change the outfit, and then the accent goes away.
Just stop it with the scripted promos.
You know you want to come on down here right now when you got that thing going on down there, all y'all buff or shit.
See, it would be good if it was. It would be entertaining if that's what it was. But it's her like reciting some lines that she doesn't even understand. It's like, what the fuck is going on
Something
here?
about gay meat, like it was so weird.
Gay meat.
What does that mean?
Gay meat. Game.
We're gonna move on.
That is so profane, Dana.
I got you,
Rude.
Taco.
Enzo does his pep talk for the Zoe train, and I normally wouldn't bring this up because it's Enzo, and ultimately it didn't really mean anything. But at the end of
The
it,
consumer of terrestrial entities.
I didn't mean to hit that, but at the end of Enzo's little pep talk, sides in Nia Jax, who happens to be a little smitten.
I am smitten.
It seems like with one Enzo Amore.
How you doing?
So I loved this. I thought this Nia coming in with the big shit-eating grin. She's kind of giving him the wink and the eyebrows and the how you doing.
How you doing?
So and
She
Enzo
is going to wreck Enzo.
Yes, and Enzo like kind of no-sold it, like, what's going on here? What's happening?
What does that mean?
So I enjoyed that.
Oh, this is happening. Like, I'm letting you know right now, this is happening.
So then it was
That's her muscle.
the cruiserweight four-way Cedric Alexander, Mustafa Ali, Tony Nese, and Drew Gulak. This again in the number one contender situation going on. Winner of two four-ways face off with each other to be the number one contender. So this time, one of the Zoe Train members win, Drew Gulak. He gets the win over Mustafa Ali after Cedric Alexander hits his lumbar check for the finisher, and Gulak shuffles him out of there and steals the win. So we do have a Zoe Train member.
He came in with the PowerPoint. Duh.
Well, he tried to do the PowerPoint presentation after, but they ran out of time. So
him and Matt Hardy going back and forth a little bit on Twitter was pretty entertaining too.
Yes.
Matt trying to, Gulak trying to say that they're both on the same page, that they don't want any spot monkeys, no jumpers or flips, and Matt Hardy's like, no.
Yeah, that's an interesting, back and forth because of the whole no-fly zone thing from Drew Gulick. So, but yeah, so now we got a Zo Train guy in the number 1 contenders match versus Rich Swann next week. So if Gulick wins, it's like, what's gonna happen if he has to face Enzo at the pay-per-view or whenever they face off?
Well, he's the oddball out of the whole Zo Train too, so that's great. Like, there's that video today of pretty much like Enzo's cribs with the Zo Train stopped by his house.
Yeah, I saw that. That was weird.
Oh, it was so great though.
We ordered 25 pizzas.
See, that was like the tip right there for me to be on this train. Like, yeah, Enzo sucks at the ring, but it's a character. He's getting these guys' character exposure. Yeah. Like, I love that mentality of just like him. Like, welcome to my mansion. I got my boys playing here because that's Enzo. That's a heel.
Yeah,
like,
yes.
Enzo is a real heel with real heat right now. Not like fucking Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens who are heels, but you're cheering for them to fucking win.
Right?
No, you're cheering for Enzo to lose because he's fucking garbage. He's a scum, and you can fucking see it where fucking Daivari has this, what do you fucking call them, coupons or the money? It's this fast stack of money at the table. Like, it was fucking great. And then you get fucking the whole grand tour, and then you get Gulick outside playing with a fucking lightsaber. And then you just get Enzo. It's like, dude, you're so fucking, there's something not right with you. Like, I love it. And there's still that tension there. Like, you still want to root for these guys, but Enzo's such a piece of shit that Gulick's the man.
And I love fucking Tony Nese like beating Daivari in pool and Daivari just throwing a pile of money.
Yeah. I fucking wish I remember what he called him. He's something coupons, and then fucking Nese just right to his abs. Yeah. Always right to his abs.
Yeah, he busts them out like, the 8-pack, baby. So they're doing a good job with these guys on 205.
Yeah, development.
That's what I see. Yeah, it's just like, NXT was still not an overnight success. I remember them talking about canceling it after season 3. So it's just like it's going to be a rocky process. This road tour is going to help, more exposures, just get some characters in there.
Asuka versus Alicia Fox this week, a little bit more competitive than the Dana Brooke match last week, but nevertheless.
You can tell Dana's been working out. All about sets and reps.
No sets and reps this week, but slightly more competitive here. But Asuka does win with the armbar. But the story here, and I think we kind of skipped over this last week with Absolution coming out and leaving the entryway open, surrounding the ring, sort of, but leaving an easy exit possible for Asuka 2 weeks in a row now. So some sort of possible connection between Absolution and Asuka, maybe, and then Absolution beating up Alicia Fox here after the match. What do you guys think about the potential link up between Asuka and Absolution?
I think it's just them trying to play some mind games into Asuka like that. Like, that's what Paige is all about right now, especially when she's sitting in the ring talking to Alicia Fox and like, oh, you're my best friend. Like, you're the only one there that cared for me, but these two girls don't give a fuck about you. So it's just like, obviously she's there to fucking play a game of chess right now.
And that was so pro wrestling too. It was like, she's saying nice things now, but you knew any second somebody was going to come in and beat her up. So
it's just like, I like what they're doing with it. It's not giving us, they're not making Asuka look like a bitch at all either. She's still getting her, maniacal side going on. And then you got Paige just kind of rampaging up everything. So.
Well, and with the rumors and whether or not it happens or not of the Women's Royal Rumble, do you guys see the possibility of Asuka making a team or getting friends at all in this situation? Is that what they're leading to, trying to lead to more women teams like that?
I actually like the story of Paige and the Absolution are afraid of Asuka.
Everyone's afraid of Asuka.
So they're trying to get her on their side so that she doesn't murder them. So I prefer that story, but I
do prefer that.
See it in the sense of when well, I guess it was the same story between Nakamura and AJ Styles when they were feuding with Jinder Mahal, going through the Singh brothers. Just they can do it in a better way with these ladies.
Bollywood boys.
What?
Bollywood boys.
Oh God! But like I fucking lost me. But yeah, so it's gonna be a good way for Asuka to kind of just go through these broads and then make it to Paige. So let's get more exposure for them, get some more matches for Mandy Rose and Clinton Dix. But it's just going to be that, climb the ladder to get to the boss. The boss is Paige. And
Sonya Deville.
Sonya Deville.
Yeah, we were just talking about it.
I kept thinking Liv Morgan.
So, that's going to be I think it's going to be a really good, fun match there, and that's the way to get that slow build between Asuka and Paige.
Finn Balor versus Bo Dallas. I don't know what the fuck version of Raw I watched last week when I said, it wasn't a complete burial of Finn Balor. He won the match. What the fuck was I talking about? Finn Balor was completely buried by Kane last week. He went after his neck with a chair, beat the shit out of him. Yeah, he got DQ'd. Finn technically won, but yeah, it was a burial last week of Finn Balor. So yes, they have been burying Finn Balor. I'm sorry, I was completely wrong last week. Don't know what the fuck I listened back and I'm like, what the fuck am I talking about? Like, what? Anyway, so sorry about that.
I kind of skimmed through that part. Like, my DVR was acting up. I was tired. I didn't want to deal with it.
So, but this week he took on Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas beat him up for 5-10 minutes, whatever it was, and then Finn hit his signature finish, the drop kick, the sling blade, and the coup de grace, and got the win. So it wasn't. He won the match, but boy, Bo Dallas sure got a lot of offense in on
for
Finn
being
Balor.
Bo Dallas.
And so again, another longer match here in your third hour of Raw. But yeah, I don't know. Here's the thing: Finn Balor is still over. The crowd still loves him, so it hasn't taken effect yet. So I don't know. What do you?
I wasn't too upset by this. Like, I really enjoyed Raw start to finish this week.
Right
just it's what I wanted. I just want some wrestling every now and then. Like,
it was a wrestling heavy show.
And you need some episodes where you have Stephanie McMahon coming out, belittling people, being just a fucking garbage boss, being the fucking heel on occasion. You don't need it every fucking week. Some weeks you need where it's just straight up wrestling, get to the point. I like these odd matchups too between Finn Balor and Bo Dallas because I know Bo Dallas is a pretty solid wrestler in there, but he never has a chance to kind of shine in there a little bit. So, this is kind of a good moment for him to shine because we already know Finn Balor's the man. So, yeah, go out there, put on a fucking show, let him throw you around for a minute. But guess what? You do 4 moves and he's fucking done. So who's the real winner here? Who looks more like a bitch?
Right. And again, I could do the thing where pro wrestling fans are always negative. Oh, well, why wouldn't Finn come out and just beat him in fucking 2 minutes? That's what he should do. But you're right.
Well, it's even like the Roman and Jordan fight at the beginning. It's like we already know Jordan could bring him to the limit. I'm like, the fucking second commercial break, I was like, God damn, they're still going? Like, awesome.
Well, that's because the first 10 minutes of the match were just a bunch of chin locks back and forth. It was the beginning of the match was really boring. The end of the match, the false finishes,
what
the
Roman
near
Reign
falls.
match isn't.
Exactly. Well, that's the problem.
But for a start off with the championship match with a rookie and a guy who says he's the best in the world in a sense, that was awesome. It was good. I want to see these. We need these matches. We need to show off the younger guys. If you want to have faith in like Jinder Mahal, maybe he should have had matches like these going in.
And honestly, I hope it is. And I fear it's not, just because in December things get weird in WWE. They tend to do things a little bit different just because fuck it, let's be lazy and just let them have longer matches. So I can see that being a factor here, but I hope it is a change in philosophy because we're here to watch wrestling. How about give us some long competitive matches?
Yeah. And the crowd was pretty good for all of them.
Yeah, no, the crowd was hot. It was a good crowd.
What matters in the fuck, Finn Balor's wrestling Bo Dallas, cool. Well, they're cheering.
Yep. Finally, main event of Monday Night Raw, Am Rollins taking on The Bar for the tag team championships. A good match, as we would expect a good match coming out of these two. Again, the skullduggery coming into effect at the end of the match, of course. They did the thing where Sheamus gets DQ'd because he's not the legal guy and he's just in there beating on the guy, and so Angle comes out and restarts the match, and then they do another bullshit finish anyway. So it was kind of like, why not just do the bullshit finish, in the first place? But the thing is, he had to come out and make it, no disqualification.
Anything goes!
And again, not to be negative here, but they keep doing this. I mean, we talk about it every week, every time, every match.
Anything goes!
When every other match is no DQ, anything goes. It takes away from something being no DQ, anything goes. And can we get it through the thick skulls of these quote-unquote babyface general managers and these Monday Night Raw, these wrestling crowds? Don't you realize that a no disqualification match almost always favors the bad guys? It favors the heels, the guys, the bullshit, the skullduggery. So when a guy comes out, it starts going, we're going to make this thing no DQ.
This match, anything goes!
Your response should be boo. But I digress. That's not going to happen.
ECW spoiled everyone.
They really did. And here we are 20 years later.
Well, that's how WCW was toward the end, too. They just throw it out there, whether it be the pole on a pole match. It just became, this is no
that
DQ,
was another
this
level
is no DQ,
of horrible.
no DQ. Yeah, it was bad.
All right, let's get into some Smackdown.
Change the subject. Smackdown Live.
I can be a superhero. I'm going to make this a tag team match. Ziggler!
SmackDown was a decent show this week. I thought it was not very eventful because it was, again, the Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Like you were just saying, they're acting like heels, but everybody's cheering for them because their story makes too much sense.
I feel bad for them.
Right.
They're being dicked over.
Right. Even Shane at the end of the show, he's like, Daniel Bryan's like, "Are you gonna knock it off on these two yet?" And Shane's like, "Oh no,
nah.
I'm gonna enter myself as the special guest referee for their tag match at the Clash of Champions. It's really a shit show with no interesting matches, but I'm gonna be the referee. And if they lose, they're fired not only from SmackDown but from the entire WWE."
God, you make Shane McMahon sound like Donald Trump.
It's gonna be huge.
He's gonna fire them.
It's gonna be Clash of Champions. Gonna be huge. Gonna be the referee. You're gonna be fired.
It's the best. It really is.
So that was pretty much the story of SmackDown right there. The main events: Orton versus Sami Zayn with Kevin Owens handcuffed to the ring rope. They kept saying, why do they have to say it the same way every time? That's so weird. He's gonna be handcuffed to the ring rope. Gonna be handcuffed to the ring rope. Gonna be handcuffed to the ring rope.
Oh, he's gonna be handcuffed to the ring rope.
Is he handcuffed to the ring rope?
Daniel Bryan did insert at one point. He said he's going to be handcuffed to the ring post. I mean, and I'm thinking, how is he going to handcuff him to the ring post? It's got to be to the ring rope. Which ring rope is he going to be handcuffed to? Be awful awkward if it was the top ring rope, because how would you be at ringside and handcuffed to the top ring rope? Nevertheless, it's one of those weird things that WWE does. They say something the same all the time, so it makes you think, is there something to this? But it wasn't, but it just kind of was what it was. Zayn took that crazy bump onto the announce table with the monitor digging into his back.
Oh, goddamn.
Orton hits that big top rope superplex. That was really nice.
Really nice.
He
fucking brought that motherfucker high.
Yeah, that was awesome. Owens escapes the handcuffs with the bolt cutters, but it didn't matter because Orton knocked him right back on his ass anyway. And then Orton wins with the roll-up after Zayn misses his Helluva kick. And then after the match, Kevin Owens and Zayn attack Randy Orton. Nakamura comes out, makes the save, so it's going to be Nakamura teaming up with Randy Orton at Clash of Champions versus the Canadian boys, Zayn and Kevin Owens. Like we said, Shane's going to be the referee here. So, again, the idea, I think, here is Daniel Bryan turning heel, which is a horrible idea that's never going to work. And Shane is already looking like a heel because he's not, laying off of these guys.
I was going to say, it seems like Shane's turning heel in this way. He's like coming mini Vince.
That's how it feels to me, but that's not their narrative, I don't think.
But I disagree with you in the sense that Daniel Bryan can work as a heel because I feel like he could turn it off and on. Like I said last week, it just takes one fucking word. Instead of saying yes, he says no.
Yeah, but remember when they tried to put him in the Wyatt family before WrestleMania 30?
No,
well, that didn't work at all. So
I don't know. Like I don't feel like Daniel Bryan's the one turn heel. Just like all of his actions has been speaking kind of face to me. Like
they're honey dicking you, Taco.
like God, like part of me just hopes like this is a big ruse to get fucking Bryan back in the ring in a sense. Like make him snap, make him crack. Like I'm done being your GM. Like fuck this.
Make him pop too.
Make you pop.
Well, you said you snap and crack and then pop.
But I really hope that they're painting us for the long con, the big picture here. Like, I hope this is one of those be patient storylines in the long run because it's just like it's kind of stupid looking at it on paper right now. But they've done it to us in the past where you're like, fuck, it makes sense now.
Rusev and Aiden English. It's Rusev Day. Rusev number one.
Rusev number one.
You seem elated.
What does that mean? Rusev Day is not a joke.
It's Rusev Day.
Not the time.
Aiden English tried to sing the 12 Days of Rusev and got cut off by the New Day coming out. We've got an awesome new Rusev Day t-shirt.
Yeah.
Order 2 of them immediately. But yeah, Rusev and Aiden English get the win with the brogue kick over the New Day. Mm-hmm. And so they get entered into the four-way, get made into a four-way at Clash of Champions for the tag titles. Again, a straight-up tag match would be good, but I like this four-way. It's going to be be a really good match.
They said it's going to be one member of each team in the ring at the same time.
Yeah.
So, hey, that's different than normally what they do with these kind of situations where it's tag whomever, and I tag myself in, so I'm in. And I dig this. It's something different in this kind of case.
The rule book's going to be out the window in the first minute of the match anyway.
There's a rule book?
Absolutely.
Exactly. So.
Well, and if we're trading out Hype Brothers for Rusev and Aiden English as a tag team, that's a win.
There you go. Speaking of the Hype Brothers, Mojo says Ryder drags him down and that he is a serious competitor.
I'm a serious competitor.
He doesn't sound very hype.
I love that he's not hype. I love that he's a serious competitor.
I'm a serious competitor.
I love that he's delusional. He thinks that, because he won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, that he's some great world beater, and that Zack Ryder, of all people, drug him down when it was fucking Mojo dragging down Zack Ryder. So I like it. I like it all
if you
around.
look at it, 2 Andre the Giant Memorial winners are champions right at the moment.
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Oh. Yeah. Corbin and Cesaro.
Yes.
Saying they're both former... So he kind of has a point there. So what the fuck you doing, Mojo? Get on it.
So Daniel Bryan decides to make Charlotte and Natalia's match at Clash of Champions a Lumberjack match because the Riott squad calls him superficial and prejudiced and anti-Southern. We had a Lumberjack match, 2 weeks ago on SmackDown? Why not do another one and get all the women involved because we got to have something for them to do. So, so that's pretty much what we're doing there. We had the match between Charlotte and Tamina. Tamina scares me. Watching this was not very fun here. Being very negative. Charlotte wins with the figure 8 as expected. They tease doing a big brawl. Again, too much talking, too much scripted promos. We already talked about how bad Sarah Logan was, and this was on here on SmackDown when we were talking about Raw. But
which someone pointed out on the internet that Sarah Logan was Kane's boss when he had to work the concession stand. Remember that? Yeah, you remember.
What else?
Corporate Kane was fired and he had to go work the concession stand.
Because I fucking love Corporate Kane. Bring back the slacks, man.
Bobby Roode and Baron Corbin stand very close to one another and talk fuzzy math, talking about odds. And it always bothers me when they talk about odds, because all of a sudden, just because it's a three-way doesn't necessarily mean that you have a 1 in 3 chance of winning. Taco,
yes, it does.
Taco, if you and I had a match versus Andre the Giant in a three-way, we would not have each of us a 1 in 3 chance of winning.
1/3 chance of winning that.
I would have about 1% chance to 0 winning. So it always bothers me when they talk fuzzy math. Ziggler says because he was a former champion, he was a former U.S. champion, a world champion, all this. He says, because I'm a former champion, that's why I'm in this match.
Whose dick did he suck to get in this match? Like, for fuck's sake.
He threw a nice little shade line at Corbin saying, I had a successful Money in the Bank cash-in, and everybody goes, ooh. But yeah, that's pretty much what you said, Taco, is sexual favors. I did actually this week. Ziggler was a guest on the ENC podcast, the Edge and Christian podcast, and he talked about on there like, "Oh man, I hate how I'm being used. I fucking lose all the time. I have no credibility. I hate what I'm doing." So Ziggler feels our pain as fans. He wants to bring some credibility to it, and I actually liked him on Smackdown this week. He was out there on commentary for the match between Roode and Baron Corbin. He was making sense. He was talking about how he hated both Corbin and Roode, but then also putting them over like they're good competitors. Roode is here for a reason. He's beaten me, and I just fucking hate it.
I'm just bummed about him being put in because doesn't
make any sense.
It makes no fucking sense because he's been on a losing streak, so you throw him in a fucking championship title picture. But I'm actually digging this Corbin-Roode feud. Like, Roode is so over as a babyface with Corbin on the opposite side of this on the ring. So I was wanting to see where this fucking goes. I forgot Ziggler was a thing right now.
Stop talking.
Like, I kind of like that Ziggler was in the background a little bit. I like that he's getting his natural hair color in. He's kind of changing himself a little bit. Like, yeah, dude, be you, okay? Like, get in there. Let's see the real Ziggler at this point. You're not a 22-year-old fucking dye my hair, fucking zap it, fucking... to get a tan fucking Momo. Like, I want the real fucking Ziggler in there at this fucking point. Like, let's get the show in, but we need to rebuild him, and you had your chance with The Miz last year, and they fucked that up.
He needs to be a serious competitor.
Yes, sir.
So that would be...
I'm a serious competitor.
So we need from Dolph Ziggler, and I liked him on SmackDown.
Yeah, he
this
did
week,
look
so
good, but
there was a definite difference, a different fit. Maybe it was because I listened to that podcast, but it felt different from the shit that we've seen the last few months from Dolph.
Well,
Ziggler,
he has an opportunity.
He does. He's got a 1 in 3 chance to win this to win the U.S. title from Baron Corbin. He doesn't even have to pin Baron Corbin. We talked to Charlotte and Tamina. The Bludgeon Brothers took on the Turd Burglars. One with the up is down, down is up. I do like that they're doing squash matches for these guys.
Oh, yeah. You're fucking wrong.
It gets you.
God, it's stupid.
It gets you.
It is so fucking dumb. This is gonna be my one fucking negative thing. It's fucking Luke Harper and Eric Rowan. We know what they fucking can do.
I don't get it.
No, but they got the new move where Harper slaps Rowan in the face, and then they do the up is down, down is up. It's a whole new move set, and they have to bludgeon guys now, and they come out to that donk music.
I just wish I like the fucking music.
I like the Turd Burglars.
But I just wish, like, when they came back, it was
save that sound.
I'm a serious
I wish
competitor.
They fought the Turd Burglars first, and then fucking Hype Bros, and then split them up, and then moved on from there. It's just, I feel like they're doing these squash matches backwards, where it's like, oh, hey, let's give Emma fucking Asuka. Emma, let's make everyone jealous that Emma got the role to fight Asuka. Let's make it a really good fucking match, and then for the next 2 weeks, give her nobodies.
Yeah, they did that backwards too.
What? I mean, I'm not upset that they fed her Emma right away, because I want the competitive match. You're on a whole new field to play on, so you gotta find your bearings, but like you said, Joe, they already know what the fuck they're doing in there, especially on SmackDown Live. Guess what? They've been tag team partners for fucking ever now. But, yeah, We need squash matches.
No, we don't.
All right, let's change the subject. Let's talk a little Ring of Honor.
Change the subject.
It's been so long since I used the Ring of Honor sound on here.
I did watch it this week, too.
Well, I don't want to talk a ton about the TV show. I definitely talked about Ring of Honor TV over on Strong Honor this week, but coming up next Friday is Final Battle, big pay-per-view. So we got one more week of Ring of Honor TV before the pay-per-view. But I want to kind of go over the card for Final Battle because we'll do some predictions next week on Strong Honor. And I'm not sure if I'm going to have you guys on Strong Honor next week because I am doing another special interview for Strong Honor. So I wanted to get a little Final Battle discussion in here and kind of gauge what your excitement level is going into Final Battle about a week or so ahead of time. So yeah, coming up next Friday, December 15th, main event, Cody taking on Dalton Castle. Cody, the current Ring of Honor champion. This should be interesting. They've done a good job building up this match with Cody attacking Dalton Castle multiple times. Cody sending the boys off in a box, so Dalton Castle has to fight on his own. Of course, Cody with the Bullet Club angle involved here. Cody has a big match at Wrestle Kingdom versus Kota Ibushi, where if he has the title, he will defend it there. But I could totally see that also being a match without a title. So it's interesting here with the Dalton Castle factor. But to me, Dalton Castle, I love him. He's great. He doesn't scream champion to me. What are your guys' thoughts?
I mean, personality-wise, he's got one of the biggest ones in the industry, but I kind of see him the same. I haven't seen him with a title, I guess. I haven't really seen him go on a run of anything, even a TV title instance or anything like that. They had the Trios Championship for like half a second, which I don't even count. You don't really count. But
I kind of wish those guys would have had a long run with those champions.
And I'm just thinking about this whole ring angle with Cody Rhodes. I want to keep that fucking ring on his hand. I want to keep him making people kiss that ring. But
what if he loses the championship but keeps the ring and keeps making people kiss the ring? Because that's kind of heat.
I feel like he would do more of like a Godfather, like 5 across the face with the ring kind of stuff, like.
But, I mean, they've also been really playing up the whole choke artist thing with Dalton Castle. Right. So, like, is this going to be the one? But I feel like Ring of Honor kind of just doesn't do that because they wait a really long time. I mean, think about Christopher Daniels right now, too. How long has he been in Ring of Honor? And then they finally gave him that little bit of a world title run.
Cody's got all the momentum in the world behind him with, just being a top indie star, Bullet Club, their big plans.
Ring of Honor is leading the charge, too, with him kind of giving him the indie prestige right as the moment. Like putting that championship on Cody isn't putting the prestige on the championship, it's putting the prestige on Cody.
Correct, yeah, that's for sure. All right, the TV title match, this one's a 4-way. Kenny King versus Punishment Martinez versus Silas Young and Shane Taylor. Boy, I'm not really interested
Silas
in that one.
Young.
Yeah, fucking Silas Young.
Silas Young all the way, baby.
So, exactly, that's where my interest
to take
lies.
that title so bad.
He's been really great over the last couple of years. I think it would be a good spot for him to win the title. This Kenny King push, him coming off of this Bachelorette thing, there really feels like there's no steam behind it. Kenny King has been better. I've enjoyed his performances.
Especially, I like even those silly ass fucking. Every single one of them is silly, but the shop Ring of Honor commercials are silly as fuck.
Yeah.
His are fun too, though. Like. He's picking it up. He's getting his shit together.
Technically, Kenny King still has to defend that title next week on Ring of Honor TV versus Caprice Coleman.
Because
Coleman,
say Caprice's son.
Coleman interviewed himself on the Coleman's pulpit this week. So that's a match coming up next week. But I think Kenny King will probably retain, being that this was taped weeks ago and we haven't heard about it. So there's that. The Best Friends taking on the Motor City Machine Guns for the Tag Team Championships. That should be a ton of fun. Should be very good. Jay Lethal versus Marty Scurll in just a grudge match. Not a ton of heat there, but should be a good match. I mentioned this week how Marty Scurll took on the Beer City Bruiser on this week's Ring of Honor TV, and that felt really good having Marty kind of in that babyface role because he's so over as a Bullet Club guy. So having him go in there with a true heel, I thought was good. Yep. So it'll be interesting to see what the crowd is into here. What Jay Lethal's position is as far as good and bad in the match. Of course, Marty does the villainous stuff, the heel shit, even though he's over as a babyface. So it's interesting, and it'll be fun to kind of see how that plays out. Another grudge match: War Machine versus the Addiction. The Addiction have been fucking everything up. They're mad because the fans turned on them, and so they have turned on the fans and have decided to ruin things that make the fans happy. So the War Machine is upset that they ruined their tag title shot, and so they're seeking revenge here, and so that should be
fuck the fans.
Pretty
Hey,
fun.
that's a pending issue they got right now with that fan in the crowd.
Yes, because they lawn. What was it? One of the War Machine guys lawn darted. No, it was.
It was one of
Kazarian. Throwing at him.
Yeah, Rowe lawn darted Kazarian into the crowd, injuring a fan in a bright blue T-shirt. Funny, you don't see many bright blue T-shirts at Ring of Honor shows, but nevertheless, but yeah, this is very serious. You never know; they could be illegal actions.
I like that they brought that up, and Cole. Brad was like, well, no, they're still pending. So,
maybe we shouldn't talk about that.
Skip that.
So yeah, a fun angle. That's how is that going to play into this?
Right?
There's got to be
a payoff.
There's got to be something to that, right? The fan comes back and interferes in the match, causing War Machine to lose again, and the Addiction take them in. Yes, you're helping us ruin things the fans like. That certainly could be the angle there. Another match without a ton of heat, but should be pretty good. Matt Taven versus Will Ospreay. Again, we haven't really seen any promos or any back and forth with these two, but Ospreay always puts on a good match, good effort, and Taven's been on the rise, and I kind of like what Taven's doing with the Kingdom guys.
Yeah.
The Hung Bucks, Hangman Page and the Young Bucks defend the Ring of Honor 6-man titles versus Flip Gordon and his two partners from CMLL, Dragon Lee and Teton. This should be really fucking good. Just that combination of those 6 guys.
Yeah.
What a show
that's
going to be. So a really fun match there. And then finally, not advertised as of yet, but we've got one more week of TV, and certainly they've done a great job of building up to the Briscoes versus Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer. Bully Ray's been on the retirement tour since the last pay-per-view when Mark Briscoe rammed the table into Bully Ray's head, causing
his shoulder, you mean?
The last concussion for Bully Ray. He's got to hang up the boots. He's been on the retirement tour, giving passionate speeches all around the country, and then this is the last straw. The Briscoes finally attacked Tommy Dreamer and Bully Ray. This week on Ring of Honor TV, they went to his school and attacked his students.
Trashed
My God,
it too.
They ruined 5 pictures. There were so many pictures on the wall, and they picked 5 of them. It must have been the most special pictures that they had that they ruined. So that poor girl had to call the police. She was screaming. It was awful.
The cops are on their way.
But again, I actually like how they filmed this because it was Mark Briscoe with his cell phone. It wasn't some obnoxious camera guy or whatever.
Him just screaming set up at the core, get in here.
Right, so they could bring the student in the ring and hit him with the 3D. Oh, we hit him with the 3D. That's Bully Ray's move. That's shade. But I'm looking forward to seeing what they do here between Bully Ray, Tommy Dreamer, and the Briscoes. They did a good job building it up, so I'm looking forward to it. So, all right, that's pretty much it.
Sounds like a fun card.
Yeah, it should be good. Should we talk a little bit of New Japan, the World Tag League? Just a little bit.
We could skin the cat. Yeah.
Just a little bitty bit, because at the time of this recording, there's only a couple of World Tag League matches left.
Yeah.
Technically, Taco and I are in a competition to see who has the best prediction bracket. I can tell you right now, as of this moment, my prediction bracket, I have 24 correct predictions. So that's kind of where I'm at on my A and B block predictions. Of course, I had War Machine going out of the B block to win, and I had Evil and Sonata winning the A block, with Hansen and Rowe winning the whole thing. War Machine winning the entire tournament there. So how are your predictions looking there, Taco?
I got 13 in A block and 15 in B block.
So you're right around the same as me. You're a little bit better than me, actually. So you're winning that right now. But it's really anybody's game at this point. The Best Friends got 8 points in the B block, but They just cut a promo talking about how they got eliminated, so which was really good. Actually,
I thought they were bitching that they weren't in the lead anymore.
Let me bring this up because they cut a promo talking like, we are out of this tournament now because who was their last loss to? They lost to Ishii and Yano of all people. That's right, because they were excited. When they went into to face Ishii and Yano, they wanted the best friends proposed because they're all members of the Chaos faction, right? Mm-hmm. The best friends wanted them guys to just lay down.
You, Ishii, and Yano was there too. You were at dinner last night. We haven't yet talked about what's going to happen when we get in the ring with y'all.
I don't want to fight my friends. I don't like to fight my friends.
So why don't you guys do the right thing? Forfeit the match.
Yeah.
I don't want to fight you.
That's good.
Y'all definitely don't want to fight us. We're on cloud nine, brother.
I know Yano might actually be into this.
He probably would, actually.
We've got the lead. I don't know.
I don't even know if they can win.
I don't know if they can win.
All you're going to do is hurt us, so please, forfeit the match.
Ishii will do it.
Ishii, brother.
Ishii, just forfeit.
Brother.
It's not a big deal.
Big Ish.
It's not a big deal.
Big Ish Langston,
it's not a big deal.
So then they have the match. The best friends lose to Ishii and Yano. I guess they think that they're mathematically eliminated, but they still have 8 points, and they still have one match with the Killer Elite Squad. Maybe they're just saying, maybe the Killer Elite Squad are going to kill us. But they actually have the most. They're tied with the Gorillas of Destiny with 8 points right now. So it could be anybody's tournament. But after losing, they think that they're out of the tournament.
Guess what, Dustin?
What?
We're not in the lead anymore. Want to know why? You want to know why? Do you want to know why?
Because your friends are fucking cheaters and hit people.
Because you didn't know that Yano was going to hit you in the dick? He does it every match. Do you not watch?
No, why would I watch? The boys couldn't lay down and let us win. We were going to win the whole damn thing.
Why would you watch? Exactly.
Doesn't even mean anything. Your stupid fucking headband and your dumb face. We're not friends anymore.
So hopefully the best friends can get things patched up before their big match coming up this weekend or next weekend for the Motor City Machine Guns for the Ring of Honor Championship.
I'm so glad Chuck E. T's gonna be at WrestlePalooza again.
Yeah,
next year.
Yeah, there's a big one coming up in January. So
that's the one I want to go to.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun one. According to my mathematics here, the best friends are still in it, but we got a lot of ties at see those two teams, best friends and the Gorillas of Destiny. Those guys have one match left, and no, I guess everybody in the A block has one. I don't know. It's hard because they've been doing one match or 2 matches per night or something. So I might not be.
Some guys have one. Some of
them have 2. Yeah. So yeah, the best friends have one match left. They're at 8 points, so they got a chance to get to 10. Gorillas of Destiny have 8, so they got a chance to get to 10. But Archer and the Killer Elite Squad got 2 matches left at 6 points right now. So they have to face the best friends and Makabe and Hanare. So I imagine they're going to beat Makabe and Hanare, but it's going to come down to Chucky T and Beretta. Hansen and Rowe War Machine have 6 points, but 2 matches left for them. Finley and Kitamura, that'll be a win. And Elgin and Cobb, nothing. That one's up in the air.
So pretty much Smith and Archer's only lost to War Machine and
Gorillas of Destiny. Correct.
All right.
So yeah, it's been an interesting B block. Over on the A block side of things, Evil and Sonata in the lead with 8 points, but a bunch of other teams right there with it. Everybody's got, looks like, one. No, some of these guys have 2 matches. Some of these teams have 2 matches left as well. But yeah, Evil and Sonata out in front.
Just Goto and Yoshihashi left.
Goto and Yoshihashi got 6 points, but so there's a couple of different possibilities there. So a bunch of teams with 2 points, but I think with the tiebreakers and everything, it pretty much comes down to Yoshihashi, Goto, and Evil and Sonata, quite possibly. So, we'll see what happens there. We got Wrestle Kingdom right around the corner, so we're looking forward to that.
January 4th.
January 4th coming up. Talked about that. Should we run over the card for Wrestle Kingdom right now, or should we just
I'd wait on that.
We got time.
Yeah, we got time to.
It's January 4th.
Yeah, we'll go over that more later.
I got a boner too, but
let's not blow our wad.
We got plenty of time. We're an hour and 20 minutes into this thing. We got we'll table that for later. So, but yeah, the World Tag League, not a ton that has stuck out as really great, but there have been some good matches. I've enjoyed watching.
Promos have been the best.
Exactly. The new New Japan English YouTube channel where they got the promos where they translate the Japanese with the subtitles. Been so much fun watching that throughout the tournament. So it'll be really fun over the next year being able to watch those after all the matches. So and incorporating that into more sound bites and stuff on the show. And we didn't talk about Hiromu Takahashi. His happy day finally happened. He had been counting down to the happy day over and over again. In each promo, he'd been going crazy, meowing and calling Will Ospreay the wrong name. He was very excited about the happy day. It finally happened. Daryl Takahashi and his lovely wife Carol gave birth to
Daryl Takahashi Jr.
Yes. So Hiromu was very, very happy. He was upset that Tokyo Sports didn't invite him to the big dinner or whatever it was. But very happy. His happy day happened. Very happy family for Hiromu Takahashi. Naito is still he's upset that Evil and Sonata aren't doing better in the World Tag League. Naito thinks it's the worst World Tag League ever.
So great.
Hiromu loves that there's tension between individual members of Los Ingobernables. And Hiromu was talking shit because Bushi wants to make the 4-way at Wrestle Kingdom for the Junior Championship a 5-way. Bushi wants in the damn thing now. So Hiromu was talking a little bit. He's like, I don't care. Let's make it 5. Bring him in. So
tranquilo.
And then another cool thing that happened at the Korakuen Hall show last week, the full show that was on New Japan World, Okada debuted a new finisher, submission hold. Yep. The Cobra Lock, I think, is what they're calling it. And so maybe it's a kind of a Cobra Clutch kind of a thing. But Naito in his promo says, "Yeah, the first time you got that Cobra on me, I hurt for several days, and then he put it on yesterday, and it didn't hurt as long. So I'm getting used to your hold, Okada. It's not going to work that well at the Tokyo Dome." So I look and love it that Okada's busting out new shit, and Naito saying, "Yeah, it's cool, but I'm going to get used to it. It's not going to work as good." So yeah, fun stuff from all those promos, and we're getting more excited. We got the Road to Tokyo Dome shows coming up on, I can't read the dates. Can you guys see them there?
To Tokyo, 12, 17, and 18.
So yeah, December 17th and 18th, we got another Lionsgate Project show with the Lions, the Young Lions round robin tournament on December 21st. So we got some fun, and they usually do a couple of Christmas shows from Korakuen Hall too. So, but those things weren't listed on NJPW 1972 yet. So we still got some potential stuff to come up there, but lots of fun stuff to look forward to in December. Not only that stuff, but Clash of Champions on the 17th. So we got some big prediction shows next week between Clash of Champions, Final Battle coming up next week. We'll talk about that on Strong Honor. So tons and tons of stuff.
What a week it's been. So much to talk about.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this week on the Best Pro Wrestling Podcast. Like I said, if you're new to the show, make sure you go to iTunes and rate, review, and subscribe. Check us out on all of your any of your favorite podcast gimmicks: Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts. Rate, review, and subscribe. Give us that positive review. Check us out on sltdwrestling.com. That's Single Leg Takedown. You can find our podcast there, as well as a lot of great fan articles, a fantasy league, predictions league. So lots of fun stuff going on over at sltdwrestling.com. Check out the Fans Podcast. We've done a couple of podcasts recently, but we've kind of fell off the Wrestler 3-Wine thing. We are planning on doing more. It's just been really fucking crazy busy lately. So
it's the holidays.
Thanks, World Tag League.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, New Japan, for all the great stuff. We haven't had time to watch more Ric Flair matches or whatever. So we are planning on doing more Wrestler 3-Wine, but check out our other Wrestler 3-Wine shows where we talked about DDP. And what was the first one that we did?
Owen Hart.
Owen Hart, yes.
I am not a nugget.
So check those out on thefanspodcast.com. Follow me at Tommy Stryker, spell Stryker with a Y. Follow the show at BPW Podcast. Facebook.com/Best Pro Wrestling Podcast. And don't forget to check out Strong Honor, StrongHonor.com, and BestProWrestlingPodcast.com. Taco, where can people find you?
Follow me on Snapchat, Twitter at HGRAD Taco.
And you can follow me, Joe, at JoeBPWP. That's at Joe, Best Pro Wrestling Podcast.
And of course, don't forget that Joe is the the terrestrial consumer of
terrestrial entities.
We'll get it sooner. I think so.
Can't think of a better way to end the show. That's it. Thanks again. Bye.
Peace.
Yes, sir.
That is so profane, Dana, and rude.
I'm a serious competitor. The consumer of terrestrial entities.
What does that mean?
What else?
Lars.
All right, we're testing one more time here. Taco, give me like a sentence or few here.
Yeah, say something, bitch.
I don't want to say anything because I'm not going to.
And get right up. You're drifting away from your microphone last week, I noticed. So
he's walking with Elias, man, so he can't control it.
You gotta walk with the Elias.
You got to walk with your mouth right up on that thing.
Yeah, use your microphone voice.
Shut up, Joe. I'll give you the back of the hand. Old fashioned. Pour up the face and then ooh.
I might be too loud here.
Ooh. Yeah.
Ooh.
Boop boop boop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.